I'm doing well, bro. Very happy.
Yeah,
Things have been going very, very good. And yeah, if it's Friday, it's always nice to just
yeah,
everyone's in a good mood at the warehouse. It's always a good time on Fridays.
yeah.
How are you
Lovely.
doing?
I'm excited to talk about that. I'm doing very well, very good as well. Um, Very excited to finally speak to you. I've been wanting to get a hold of your soap for a while. I think it's sold out, right?
We're not sold out.
Oh, I thought I saw it was sold out. There we go. Perfect, Matthew. So for folks who don't know who you are, um, could you introduce yourself a little bit on who you are, what you do, what got you here?
Yeah, so I'm Matthew. I am 26 years old. I am living in Orlando, Florida, but for the first 25 years of my life, I was living in Orlando, in Miami, where I was born to two Latino parents. They made their way to the States from Colombia and Peru, the legal route. They met in a warehouse, a flower warehouse in one of the suburbs in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I am the owner of HealthYSol. It is a natural soap and skincare business. Our main flagship products are tallow bar soap and tallow liquid soap.
Mm-hmm.
And I started this company with my wife less than 2 years ago. Our first batch of soap was made in her apartment in Los Angeles out of a tiny little pot.
Wow.
And now we are producing about 12,000 bars every month um, out of our
Congratulations.
warehouse here. Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, and we are August 30th. August is about to end. We have just hit our first six-figure month.
Wow.
Um, we are on pace to do 1 million in sales this year by the end of the year, and it's been incredible. It's like at the beginning, our first month we made maybe $200,
Yeah.
and it's like every little milestone, it's just becomes awesome, and
Yeah.
you're so
Wow.
excited for it.
From
And now
200
it's
to
like,
6 figures, that's impressive, man.
yeah, and now it's. I mean, it honestly feels the same as 50K or 20K. It's just
Mm-hmm.
it's like a blessing and a curse because it's like you just keep going up the ladder and the ladder doesn't end.
Yeah. Wow.
It's there's no stopping. But so what really keeps me happy is the amounts of feedback,
Mm-hmm.
positive feedback, lives that are being changed. So that's where I really measure our success.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
It's through just making people healthier.
Mm-hmm. Are you only selling online right now?
Yeah, we're maybe in less than a dozen mom and pop shops, people who
Mm-hmm.
have reached out to us wanting to wholesale our products, but
Mm.
all of our sales are online.
Beautiful. So talk to me about that like process, that journey from uh dealing with your skin issues to now creating and getting Healthy Soul to 6 figures. Where did that start? What does
Yeah.
the soap come from?
So my idea for the soap was first I had bad back acne and blackheads when I was a teenager,
Yeah.
kind of my whole life, and I kept a skincare routine that consisted of the big name products that you'll find in
Yeah.
Walgreens, and it did work a little bit, but it was a ritual that I'd maintained for years. Just every morning, I have to do my toner, my face wash,
Yeah.
my weekly nose blackhead strip, and when the pandemic hit, I just stopped keeping up with that hygiene routine
Mm-hmm.
and just use water and soap,
Mm-hmm.
just even regular bull crap soap, and with that alone, my skin started improving on its own. So
Wow.
that's an experience that always stuck with me. It was
Yeah.
interesting. So a few years after that, I created a fitness page on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I amassed to over about 25K followers at some point, but
Wow.
it was just fitness related initially. But as I started to get to know people I was introduced to other topics within fitness and outside of it,
Mm-hmm.
in relation to holistic health. I I started changing my contents of just more holistic health
Mm-hmm.
style stuff, and I reached a point where I amassed this following, and I had no job because I had quit my job as a massage therapist to just make content. I was going through a lot of soul searching at the time, so I wanted to get out of this 9 to 5 kind of realm, and
Mm-hmm.
um, I thought of that experience I had with my skin and looked. I was living a very liver king primal lifestyle, and I thought, what's the primal way that soap was made? And I just looked up some recipes online
Mm-hmm.
after doing some research, and it was made from olive oil, coconut oil, fat from pigs, goats, and cattle, and hey, that's pretty easy to get your hands
Mm-hmm.
on: tallow, olive oil, sodium hydroxide, and then the rest is history. We just made primal soap. That, I mean, it's so basic and simple, but
Yeah.
it just produces so many good results. You know, the answer is in the exclusion of all these products. That was my answer. Obviously, some skin issues are deeply rooted into
Yeah.
the internal state of your health and gut, and I won't deny that. We make it clear that, hey, and we receive a lot of questions. Hey, will this help with acne? And the first thing we say, hey, the best skincare routine is a nutritious diet, sunlight, proper sleep,
Mm-hmm.
stress management, and then we make it easy on the soap side of things because you know you're getting an organic and hormone healthy product, and it
Mm-hmm.
might work for you. Maybe that's all you need, because that's all what I needed, and it's worked for many people that
Mm-hmm.
alone. But yeah,
I love
that's
that.
how we got to 6 figures. I mean, a product that good will sell itself.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that's half a true, half a lie. And then just big brains in kind of marketing has been me and my wife. She's an incredible graphic designer.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm a skilled copywriter. I think I'm good at making people feel a certain way.
Right.
And I think with this tandem of visually appealing and stimulating
Right.
branding with the personal flair that a
Mm-hmm.
lot of brands miss, I think it's been very. I always speak to this, how this has been the easiest thing we've ever done. Like, you hear so many entrepreneurs, hustlers, you know, up 20 hours a day working. That has not been my life. I've been
Yeah.
slacking for for so much time that
Mm-hmm.
I'm more ashamed to admit. But it's we got here by the grace of God, and by,
Yeah.
you know, we do work very hard,
Of course.
and we've made our mistakes, we learn from them, and then we're just happy to keep on waking up and doing this.
Yeah, I love it. There's something that you mentioned, which is like the simplicity behind the product. Um, a pattern I see from these natural products, like Airda skincare, for example, their tallow, all these different products. The more simple, the better it works, right? Have you noticed that yourself?
Yeah, so we have 5 products that are, you know, they're not new in the sense that everyone has seen liquid soap and tallow soap and
Yeah.
sunscreen and bone tallow bombs, um, and when you compare that to the soaps that are in the aisles at CVS, it's a third of the ingredients list.
Yeah.
Our products and all of these other natural health product brands as well, and it's just these conglomerates own so much of the market share,
Mm-hmm.
the attention. Um, so all of these brands are actually doing a great job at, you know, just chipping away at that and trying to enlighten others, by showing them, hey, you know, it's so simple. And
Yeah.
I think all of these brands have potential.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really about kind of showcasing that, the effectiveness of that simplicity, because all of these products are great products
Yeah.
by their very nature. Um, and yeah, I mean, we have other plans for other products as well. We have a dozen that we would love to get to eventually,
Wow.
and it's all going to be in the same mindset of simplicity.
Mm-hmm.
Ingredients you can eat. It's a big one for us.
Right.
and as well as organic. That's the HealthYSol standard. Every single ingredient that we use is 100% organic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it. You kind of shared all this already, but and you just said making it edible. You shared as fine dining for the skin, which I I love so much. Can you talk to me about that?
Yeah, so the skin is much, it's an organ that does much more than just keep the insides in and keeps you safe from the outside. So it
Yeah.
actually does a lot of consumption.
Mhm,
It has a very intimate and profound communication with your gut.
mhm.
The state of your gut affects the state of your skin, and whatever you put on your skin can also affect what's going on internally. So, um, for example, like in my case, and this is a theory. I've never gone to a dermatologist. I
Mhm,
never kind of uh, looked into it too deeply, just
mhm,
by intuition. These products that I was using to minimize my back acne, for example,
mhm,
it helped slightly with the inflammation because it did. It was less red and
mhm.
less pimply, uh, but it didn't clear it completely. So I think what was happening was these ingredients were just kind of keeping my skin good enough to tricking me, not my skin, but
Mm,
my own decision making to,
yeah,
hey, I need I need to continue using this because it's working. Maybe it'll if I just if I'm more consistent, if I find that one unique product, I'll improve.
yeah,
And it was just keeping me in the same place and probably doing even more detrimental effects
yeah,
on my hormonal health. Um, and the exclusion of it was my answer.
yeah. Wow.
Stop the seize me seizing feeding my skin these artificial ingredients and then just kind of letting it heal on its own and then through a healthy lifestyle aiding that healing process.
Right. I love that. What else happened when you left these products besides alleviating your back?
Well, yeah, so the other significant thing, so this was way before I dove into the holistic health stuff, but
Yeah.
one other thing that I think is very profound and I always forget to mention,
Mhm,
it's I had a deep insecurity for this acne that I had. I
mhm,
hated taking my shirt off. Going to the beach. I hated taking pictures. I only have two pictures of myself at the time of like gym progress because I
mhm.
was too afraid to just flex my back for a picture. And
Oh,
um, it feels so good to just
wow.
we all have insecurities. So just imagine that insecurity just being wiped off completely, and
Yeah. Wow.
it just being it does so much for your spirit.
Mhm.
So and that's health. Health is objectively beautiful. Health
Mm,
is by nature it health is beauty is health. So when it's very unlikely that someone who looks beautiful is unhealthy, and that's not a blanket one size fits all saying because some
yeah.
people can look very good but actually not be doing so good internally.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times you can't really put enough makeup on or get enough surgeries. You're going
Yeah.
to look how you're probably feeling. And
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
I think
Yeah.
these products have that ability to really get people more beautiful,
Mhm.
aka healthy, and vice
Mhm.
versa, get people healthy, feeling more beautiful.
Mhm. Yeah, I love that. So talk to me about Health ESO. First of all, where does the name come from?
Yeah, so HealthYSol, we wanted to say healthy soul, so a
Yeah.
healthy and then soul spirit,
Mhm.
but that was a very expensive domain name to purchase.
Yeah.
So HealthYSol, just using a play on the name on
Mhm.
how it sounds. And I mean, I'm Hispanic. Sol means son in Spanish, and it
Yeah.
sounds, it's not really to any to pay my descendants any homage or heritage at heritage points at this point, but I think it's a really cool
Mm-hmm.
cool, fun name. Very unique.
I love it.
And the sun, really, it's like the most nourishing thing in this world
Mm-hmm.
that exists besides your connection to God. And
Mm-hmm.
uh, we just love the sun. Me and my wife, as in we, and we just try to also just uh, we're much more than soap.
Mm-hmm.
Um, is how I see it. Like I said, we're selling a healthy product that will turn you beautiful, will make you feel beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
and the message and branding behind that is also everything else that leads to that, like exercise,
Mm-hmm.
sun exposure,
Mm-hmm.
happy relationships, and so on.
Yeah, I love it. So talk to me about the formulas. Why did you develop a tallow and honey soap?
Yeah, so the tallow is has been a trending ingredient
Yeah.
for the past at least 2 years, and Van Man has been a incredible inspiration for me.
Mm-hmm.
I've reached out to him personally, just thanking him for what he's done,
Wow.
and we don't know each other personally, but we've exchanged some messages, and we I think we're I appreciate what he does. I think he feels
Mm.
the same about us.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I wanted to capitalize off tallow, and I've discovered that tallow on its own, the tallow soap on its own, has some qualities that make it not as it can make it has some missing qualities that can make it a better bar. So a tallow only bar will be very durable and last a long time, but it doesn't produce the most bubbles and suds. It's
Mm-hmm.
not the most cleansing of fats. It'll clean you. It's not gonna, if you're particularly oily skin type, it won't do the best job in making you
Okay.
feel clean. So we we formulated the bar soap with olive oil and coconut oil to bring about the best properties in that makes for a fine dining experience
Mm-hmm.
for your skin.
Mm-hmm.
And with tallow, it's over 50% of what makes our bars.
Mm-hmm.
Tallow,
Wow.
it I mean it one bar is $12, which is a big friction point for our business, but it lasts for 6 weeks easily. It has last the record between in this household between me and my wife showering every day is 7 weeks. That one
Wow.
single bar has lasted both of us.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the tallow and honey soap, that one I like to give ourselves props for because no
Mm-hmm.
one has come. I think there's one other brand I've seen that has done it, but the tallow and honey liquid soap, it's an all-purpose, six
It's
different ways to use
incredible.
it.
Wow.
Soap made with tallow, olive oil, coconut oil, castor oil, and raw honey.
So simple.
Um, yeah, and I mean, it sounds delicious too. And
Yeah.
we came up on that by accident, not by accident, but just through a lot of trial and error.
Okay.
Um, we've had like 4 different explosions here in our
Oh wow.
kitchen when
Mm-hmm.
we were still on here. Because now we're in the warehouse here in our kitchen. It's boiled over a bunch of times. Um, it's boiled over even in the warehouse. Where we thought we had everything uh, to the T, but with each scaling, making bigger batches, we always run into problems. But that one is really special. A lot of people enjoy that one, and I think I'm just glad that we struck at the right time because I think we're not the number one best-selling tallow soap brand. I'd
Mm-hmm.
imagine there are no-name Etsy brands that do way more
Sure.
than we do,
Okay.
but we are really putting our face and name on around tallow soap
Mm-hmm.
products, and we've got more ideas for different variations
Yeah.
of tallow soap as well.
Yeah, I'd love to talk about that eventually, but I'm super curious on something else, which is like sourcing ingredients, right? Because if you want to make something that is simple, I'd imagine that the better quality, the simple ingredients, the better the functionality, the everything, right?
Yeah, so the sourcing of the ingredients is a very meticulous process because we're trying to balance a line of the standards that we have set,
Mm-hmm.
100% organic, sustainably sourced, and as close to domestic as possible. Some things you can't just get in the United States, which is okay. You know, coconut oil, you can't really get in the States. Olive oil, it's not the best
Mhm.
quality that we've got here, so that's okay with us.
Mhm.
Um, with the other side of, we don't want to charge $25 for a bar of soap to
Sure.
people.
Yeah.
So we have found we're in a good sweet spot. We have opportunities to actually make it cheaper while still maintaining the qualities that
Oh, wow.
we have set.
Okay.
But the 100% organic, that kind of just happened naturally. We didn't set for initially we didn't set out on being a 100% organic
Mhm.
company, but everything is organic at this point, and we just thought, hey, let's, even our t-shirts are organic cotton.
Yeah.
um, and the tallow is grass fed and finished.
Mhm.
It doesn't have any steroids, or it's not vaccinated. It comes from various small farms across domestically within the United States, and then we have um, a producer who sources that grass-fed and finished beef fat, and they render it down into and make it into tallow. And
Okay.
they are actually just 2 hours away from us, and
Oh, wow.
that's where we're able to get our tallow.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, olive oil from, it's 100% organic, cold pressed first harvest from Tunisia, who makes, it's, by the
Mhm.
Mediterranean, makes really good quality olive oil. Coconut oil from I believe, yeah, the Philippines, and that one, it's always also virgin,
Mhm.
100% organic, and that one is important to have the fair trade stamp on it as well, just
Okay.
because it's in that region of the world, it's, that industry is they exploit a lot of people.
Really?
Yeah, there's children who just
Yeah.
get paid pennies and work for hours every day to harvest these coconut and palm oils. And
Yeah.
yeah, it was very important to us when we realized that, to have that fair trade certification, just to make
Mhm.
sure, these laborers are getting paid
Yeah.
fairly and are not exploited. Um, and yeah, like, we can go into depth with any ingredient, but those are the big
Yeah.
three ones.
Sure.
Our local honey, that's something I should mention. Raw
Of
honey,
course.
Lakeland, so an hour and a half from here.
Wow.
Florida bees, small American family that
Mhm.
they leave the buckets of honey outside for us. We just put the
Oh,
cash in the
wow.
box and leave. Like, we've got a great relationship with them
Wow.
too.
That's incredible. What about the breast milk soap? You released one as well, right?
No, we didn't release it to the public. That was just
Oh,
because we had some breast milk. I'm a I'm a dad as of I'm 1 month as a dad as of yesterday.
wow. Congrats, man.
So thank you. My wife had some breast milk that was going to expire, and uh, we wanted to put it to use, and we made breast milk soap. So that's
Mhm.
just for our baby. I think something cool would be to offer a service where mothers can send their breast milk, so then we can make it for them. But it, I mean, my wife can produce a lot of breast
Wow.
milk, but it just feels weird selling that to other
Yeah, of
people.
course. That's incredible. Is there any type of like specific property for breast milk when it comes to like cleaning the skin?
Yeah, so the breast milk, even not in soap, like just raw breast milk out of the boob, can be really good to for the baby's skin,
Mm-hmm.
because babies are born with very sensitive skin.
Yeah.
It peels. It has like this film from the womb inside as well. So, um, our little girl, she scratches herself up
Mm-hmm.
when like she touches her face, or um, we just, the skin just rips apart super easily
Mm-hmm.
for like any piece of friction from a blanket.
Well, yeah.
So anytime we see that, we put some breast milk around those
Mm-hmm.
little abrasions, and it's very nourishing for the skin.
Wow.
The skin eats it up, and this is the best food.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only food a baby should be eating. The
Yeah,
skin eats, so it just makes
super
perfect
smart.
sense why it would be effective for the
Yeah.
skin. We put it in her bath sometimes too, when we have some extra expired breast milk, and in a little tub with warm water.
Mm-hmm.
We put the breast milk in there, and we bathe her in it. She's going to be a really healthy
Oh,
baby.
absolutely. Very base as well. Yeah. So there's something that you mentioned as well, which to me, this is something that I always like to ask because um, there's some really special art behind the aesthetics and feel of a brand and especially this one. So where does it come from? And I guess like what do you want people to feel when they're introduced to this brand?
Yeah, so my wife she still is a graphic designer, graduated in it
Mm-hmm.
out of University of Michigan. And she's very talented. She's always loved graphic design. Her dream was to make album covers for bands
Mm-hmm.
or artists, and she got to the point where in LA she was doing graphic design for a coffee shop, and it was awesome stuff. It's
Wow.
just it's not what she wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
The Instagram posts, the emails, the ads, and she um, felt kind of just drained from that. So when it was like a perfect match when we met, because I was in this similar pace.
Mm-hmm.
So the branding was never as good as it was initially, just
Mm-hmm.
because funding, to get boxes printed and artwork done took a lot of money that we just didn't have.
Yeah.
And once we got to a good enough point to, hey, we have to stop selling soap that comes wrapped in paper into a little cotton bag that's stamped, like let's get a real box. And
Mm-hmm.
there's been different iterations of it, but she has been kind of the mastermind with everything that you see on the website on her
Yeah.
packaging. And I think where I well no where we both kind of just in tandem figure this out. Sorry about that.
No
The
worries. No
light
worries.
just went out, the battery went up.
Yeah. No worries.
um, so I follow a lot of ecom uh, ecom guys on the social medias.
Mm-hmm.
Oren Meets World is the one that I get a lot of inspiration from, that we both do. And we want to stick, like when we came to the packaging design, we thought if we were in an aisle of a bunch of bar soaps,
Mm-hmm.
we want to be the bar soap that sticks out,
Wow.
like uh, a name, a logo, and colors that just pop
Yeah.
and just grab the attention. It doesn't even matter how they make them feel. Just
Yeah.
the first bar of soap they look at, like we demand that attention, and we certainly do. Like
Mm-hmm.
because the graphic design is killer. And then from there, HealthYSol, cool name like we've talked about. But then the cow, I think, is also very interesting.
Yeah.
It's just a very unique um, logo. And
Mm-hmm.
tallow soap, that one is probably the part where we have to kind of figure out how we'll go about making it known to people what tallow is, because a lot of people don't know what
Yeah.
tallow is. Even we're in similar spaces, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure when it comes up in daily conversation, we're assuming that people would know that what
Yeah.
all of it means, but we're such a small
Yeah.
percentage of people. But yeah, I think we create like a warm and welcoming feel
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
after that initial like attention grabbing stare that a person would see. So I mean, yeah, we're not in stores yet, but when we are, it's going to be
Soon.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that, man. How do you keep people coming for more?
So the product sells itself. Like I said, we're lucky that not lucky. It's just the nature of our business. We're a consumable, so people are going to need more.
Yeah.
And um, at that point, it's really it's hand in hand, the effectiveness of a good product that people love.
Mm-hmm.
So um, we work very hard to make that happen. But it's also, I believe, our uh, our social media, our marketing efforts
Mm-hmm.
is very personable.
Mm-hmm.
We I'm the face of the business. I think if most people or at least half of the people who buy our soap kind of know who the owners are,
Yeah.
where we're coming from, what we're trying to do, and that inspires a lot of loyalty in people when you get
Mm-hmm.
to when you
Mm. That's
know
really special.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, people know where not where I live, but where I'm located,
Yeah.
what's going on in my life. I make it very. I'm not afraid to speak my mind or to
Mm-hmm.
share my the business's vulnerabilities and so on. I've just that's something I've always found very easy for me to do,
Mm-hmm.
and I I use it yeah, strategically, because I know that it will create a loyal fan base. But it's just also me.
Hmm.
And so yeah, those two hand in hand, they just that retention pool just keeps compounding and growing.
Yeah.
So we were bound to grow from the beginning. That's
Hmm.
like the slow growth.
Hmm.
It's the growth is then accelerated by ads.
Hmm.
And I think our ads. I'm still learning a lot on the creative side of things, but I think our ads are pretty fun and engaging as well. So you know, 4 out of every 10 people who buy our soap come back for a second purchase within
Hmm.
2 months,
Wow.
and then that continues. You
Hmm.
just keep adding on people, and we will convert them.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's how that works.
I love it. Do you mind sharing what's next? Any alpha, any sneak peeks for what's next?
So yeah, on Labor Day, we're on what 2 days from now. I'm sure when this
Yeah.
goes up, our liquid soap with essential oils fragrances have been launched.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Um, we've got so I have two ideas of where to go to for our next product. Um, and it's just kind of tricky to figure out because we're at our production capacity is neck and neck with our fulfillment capabilities. Like we're about to be like backed up.
Okay.
um,
Yeah.
and it's a problem I have to figure out now as soon as possible with Black Friday season coming up. I'm
Oh,
sure
right. Yeah.
that weekend I'm sure we will do at least half of what we've done this month, which is a record breaking month.
Mhm.
So um, yeah, I'm looking to hire someone like immediately, someone who fits the culture. But
Yeah.
depending on how that goes, I mean, I don't think we'll drop a new product this year. We
Okay.
just got to survive this year. But I would love a dedicated baby soap product,
Hmm. I love that.
just because I've just became a father and I
Yeah.
love being a father and want I'm more passionate about my ideas and beliefs more than ever, and the exploitation that Johnson and Johnson,
Hmm.
Procter and Gamble, all these big companies are exploiting mothers and very vulnerable people
Yeah.
to just fill their pockets up, and I hate that.
Yeah.
I despise that. So I mean, our current soap is perfect for babies. Don't get me wrong.
Hmm.
We actually give away free soap to infants
Parents?
and
Oh,
babies.
wow.
Um,
Beautiful.
they just have to email us, and we will send them
Yeah.
a bar at no cost.
Yeah, I
We'll
love
we'll
that.
put their email in our newsletter.
Hmm.
And that's the only thing that will like kind of
That's the
that's the only
change.
thing we get. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, I'm more than happy to give away soap to babies,
Wow.
and I think a the reason why a baby soap would have to be marketed as such is because a mom will see tallow soap and not even think of their baby really.
Mm.
And a tallow soap is very niche still. Like
Hmm.
I said, people don't know what tallow is, but
Yeah.
when you see baby soap, that kind of unlocks a whole other realm in of the world that
Hmm.
just we're probably never even interested in tallow soap to begin with.
Wow.
So, and it's going to probably
Yeah.
someone who needs it more than anyone else at a stage of their life where they're so vulnerable,
Yeah.
and to build a life just being flooded with artificial
Yeah.
ingredients. That's why we're where we're at today with so many sick people and so many
Hmm.
children who are overweight and sick.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that would be really cool if I could pull that off next
Hmm.
year. God willing, if everything goes well this holiday season, we survive
Hmm.
and we just come out even bigger. I mean, next year I imagine it's going to be I mean, less than 2 years in. It's we shouldn't be where we are as far as first businesses go.
Yeah, that's incredible.
But next year I just see us being just taking an even bigger step than we already have.
Yeah. I hope to see you soon on Whole Foods. That would be incredible.
Yeah, I think we'll be there within the next 2 years. Sprouts as well.
Perfect. Yeah. What about a face soap? I know that the face skin is very sensible. Personally, I've reacted terrible to coconut oil on my face. and I know of
Mhm.
a lot of people. Have you thought about that?
Coconut oil,
Like a
like
specific face soap.
yeah. So the coconut oil that you applied to your soap, was it just straight up coconut oil or
Yeah.
like a coconut oil based soap?
I've had three different things: coconut oil based soap, straight up extra virgin coconut oil, and different like honey tallow mixes with it.
Soap.
No, tallow balm. Sorry.
Oh, okay, yeah. So coconut oil is comedogenic, meaning that it clogs the pores if you are susceptible to getting clogged pores. That's because clogged pores.
Oh.
That's because the fatty acid profile of coconut oil is very different from that of our skin.
Mm-hmm.
So when you introduce coconut oil to your face, raw coconut oil to your face, it's um, if you're susceptible to breaking out or to clogged pores,
Yeah,
that's
no
going to
shit
happen.
then.
Then with coconut oil soap, the coconut oil in our soap, its function is to create bubbles.
Mm,
And bubbles are great just for the overall general experience, and
mhm.
it helps lift impurities off of your skin.
Okay.
So coconut oil in soap is not comedogenic because in soap the fatty acid profile is completely different. It's not coconut oil anymore. It's saponified coconut oil. It's sodium cocoate
Okay.
is the chemical term for it. So it's not going to
Okay.
clog your pores. The thing is with a product like a coconut oil based soap where coconut oil is the main ingredient. Dr. Bronner's, have you heard of them?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So they have a bunch of oils in their soap, but coconut oil is the main oil in their soap.
Yeah.
Since it's so good at lifting impurities away from the skin, when you have a soap that's made only with 100% coconut oil, it does too good of a job and just
Oh
strips your
wow.
skin dry of all of the fatty acids that
Okay.
are just naturally occurring in your skin.
Okay.
So with a coconut oil based soap, you're always usually going to have an experience of just dry skin,
Mm-hmm,
dry brittle
mm-hmm.
hair after using it because it just does a great job. It's not the coconut oil's fault. It's just you have to balance it with other things like a good proportion of tallow or
Mm-hmm.
another more mild soap. Tallow bombs um, are people would think that putting tallow beef on your skin will clog pores, but tallow on its own will not because
Yeah.
it's almost exactly the same fatty acid profile as the skin, so it's super compatible. If you had any trouble with tallow
Mm-hmm.
bombs, it's because yeah, like you mentioned, the coconut oil that's probably in olive oil too can
Mm-hmm.
sometimes be problematic. But those oils then you have to look at as kind of necessary because a tallow only balm, if it's whipped and there's nothing else in it, it's very light and kind of filmy. But
Mm-hmm.
if you add something like an olive, like a liquid oil and beeswax, it's a much more pleasant
Yeah.
application and it lasts longer. So it's all like a whole balance
Yeah.
thing. You've got to kind of know what works best for you, and then
Mm-hmm.
just find the right product for you. And luckily, we've never had so many tallow brand bombs ever in
Yeah.
history. So there's got to be something that works for you.
Yeah. That's good to know. Um, what has building Healthy Soul taught you about the world?
That the world is so much bigger than you probably think. That
Mm.
there's so much as far as money goes. It unlocked an abundance mindset that
Wow.
I've never had before. I've never been as generous as I have been,
Wow.
and I think that's I used to live very, actually I was gonna say that I used to live frugally. I never have, and that's kind of to the detriment because I got into a lot of debt without kind of caring
Mm-hmm.
about it. Like, oh, this money, like who cares? Like it's fake. I'll just make it up somehow.
Yeah.
And now on the other side, where I'm actually earning a very livable wage, it's like I know there's even more coming. So I
Mm-hmm.
love being generous, even with mid service at a restaurant.
Yeah.
Whenever I have just extra bills, I give it out to whoever I feel like giving it out to, and I don't even
Mm-hmm.
think about it. Um, and yeah, it's just I'm glad that it hasn't changed me as far as like remaining selfish.
Mm-hmm.
I find much more happiness in just giving out. I think my job my purpose in this life is to make as much money as I can just so I can give it away, because I know I've been
Wow.
on that end where I have no idea how to make money and all the stress it causes. And now that I figured it out, I only need enough to eat some grass-fed steaks and to have my wife drive a Porsche one
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
And then after that, that I don't need anything else.
I love that.
Um, so yeah, I mean, it brought out the hustler in me as well.
Hmm.
I've said that the business is kind of like being a father, because the business will not survive if I give it zero attention, just like a
Hmm.
baby would. And I
Hmm.
think that prepped me, in a sense, for fatherhood.
Wow.
The business made me a better man. It made me man up, because it became not just a little project that I did in the guest bedroom of my mom's house. It
Hmm.
became, what keeps the roof over my head, and now my wife's and baby's head. So it for
Hmm.
sure made me grow up. And because I'm 26, but I still feel like I'm a kid sometimes, and I think I'm gonna say that forever.
Yeah.
Because how old are you?
18.
Yeah, so 18 is the age I always say, like, because I remember being 18 and I graduated high school just 2 months before I turned 18, and I still can put myself to like that time in my life where I was at. Um,
Well.
and I just know that if I had the same, I can't have the mentality I have now. Back then, I had to go through
Hmm.
eight
Hmm.
years of experience to get to where I am now. But
Yeah.
I think I was fairly capable, um, just as a man, as such, just as what you are. Like you have two hands. You have social media at your disposal, which is a very productive tool.
Yeah.
The internet, you can make money in so many ways, and tell stories to inspire people. And I was capable of everything I'm doing now back then if
Mm.
I just, was guided in the right direction. If I just
Sure.
kind of there was no distractions around me, and if I just attempted,
Hmm.
if I just was not scared of trying,
Hmm.
that's the biggest thing. So I'm so happy that I tried this,
Hmm.
because it's really working out, and it's going to change lives and save
Yeah,
lives. I really
absolutely.
think so.
Yeah, I love that. There's a lot that you share on Twitter about God, and you've mentioned it a couple times already in this episode. So I'd like to ask, like, what's your current understanding of God?
Yeah, my theological, my more academic
Mm.
knowledge of God isn't as profound as it could be, because I was just saved like I was saved in December of 2022, so not even 2 years ago. I've always believed in Jesus. I just never gave my life to him until that point. Um, and in that year of 2022, I did give, before giving my life to Jesus Christ, I feel out other spirits or other gods, I guess, is, for lack of a better word. I wanted to find a connection to whoever God was.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I attempted a bit of the new age stuff,
Mm-hmm.
yoga, and
Mm-hmm.
I never really delved too deep into Hinduism, but just kind of, oh, the universe is God. Um, to Islam, I would that kind of intrigued me too, just through their message of just how to live as happy a life as you could be.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's what I was kind of just searching for in all of these spiritualities, but it just did not speak to me in the way that
Mm-hmm.
Jesus
Mm-hmm.
did. And I believe that he was God in the flesh, that he died and he was resurrected 3 days after. And I think uh, I wouldn't be who I am without him. I wouldn't have what I have without him either.
Mm-hmm.
I was a completely changed person when I gave my life to
Wow.
him. That warm December afternoon in Miami,
Mm,
and um, yeah, who God is to me, it's everything. Everything I do is for the glory of Him. I talk so
wow.
much. I praise myself a lot. I praise the people around me a lot, but I don't praise enough the man above who actually has given me all of
Yeah.
these opportunities, and
Wow.
something I'm ashamed for every single day, and
Mm,
something I admit to Him every single day in the morning. I ask for forgiveness because I know that I could be way better than I have been, and it's a fight that I know I'll go through forever, but I'll gladly
mm,
die doing the same thing over and over just so I can make him proud. And
mm.
yeah, that's my purpose.
I
It's
love
just
that.
to be happy, to ease as much suffering as I can, to love my family, and I mean, even in the minute sense, I think everything that I've gone through is because he
Yeah.
wanted to put me through. I think
Wow.
there's a reason why we're having this conversation now.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I appreciate you sharing that, man. Besides all that you've shared so far, what has been the biggest needle mover for your health?
Um, for me, so one thing that has actually done a lot for me was, so, you see a lot of people on our holistic space,
Hmm.
on Twitter, Instagram, just kind of parroting the same things
Yeah.
and having the same routines and advice, like,
Hmm.
hey, this is going to be a game changer. But nobody, not nobody, but something that's not talked about enough or preached on enough is like, hey, go get tested and then work with
Mm.
a
Yeah.
naturopath or a
That's actually,
holistic based doctor.
yeah.
So I've struggled with a lot of dandruff the
Okay.
past 2 years after I had a major surgery done in 2021, actually, so 3 years. And I was on antibiotics for like close to 3 weeks, and
Wow.
after I lost 25 pounds, I just gained that weight back very in an unhealthy manner. So
Okay.
I wrecked my gut. So
Wow.
for the last 3 years, I have been struggling with a lot of dandruff, which
Hmm.
um, I saw on Twitter that dandruff could be related to a candida overgrowth. So then, all right, great. What's a candida protocol? So I'm looking through Twitter accounts, and it's like fast and bone broth and quit coffee, sugar, gluten, and that's all true.
Hmm.
But I just needed a approach like from a doctor,
Yeah.
given to me by a doctor with like explaining what is actually happening in my body
Hmm.
that's causing this. So Andra, do you know Andra? Um, Bioavailable MD,
Yes.
something like
Yes.
that.
Yes. Yes. I do.
Yeah, so she recommended, not to me,
Oh wow.
just to a tweet I saw of hers,
Okay.
Equalife. They have a lot of protocols and tests for various kinds of things, and they had a candida and vitamins test that I purchased. It's like $300. I peed in a yeah, I peed into this little thing. I sent it. 2 3 weeks later, I was on a chat with a doctor for an hour, going over all of the metrics, and then I was given a supplement and diet protocol to follow. And I kid you not, man, in a week, I felt
Wow.
a difference.
Wow.
I felt a difference in energy levels, which I had at the time. I thought my energy was fine. I went to bed at a reasonable time, and I wake up early, go to the gym, work here. But at around 2 p.m., I always kind of get a little sleepy,
Hmm.
and sometimes I'll take a nap, sometimes not. I thought that was fine, but after a week of doing this protocol, I
Wow.
never took that afternoon nap ever again.
Hmm. Wow.
I didn't know that the candida was actually draining my
Hmm.
energy. So I'm still struggling with it, just because I wasn't disciplined with that protocol. But
Hmm.
the dandruff for sure was something that was greatly improved,
Wow.
and the energy as well. So yeah, just actually getting a test done and seeing like
Yeah.
by getting told by a doctor
Yeah.
what to do. I think it should be like the number one thing you should try.
Yeah.
Now that I'm saying it,
Absolutely.
but that's a huge needle mover that I'd recommend
Yeah.
people to get.
Yeah. I appreciate that advice. For my last question, one that I ask always, which I love, um, what brings you most joy in life?
It's easing suffering and making other people happy.
Yeah.
And I do that selfishly. That's why it brings me the most joy. And I think it's, if there's anything else that you're going to do in this world that's selfish, I think it's a great thing that it's that. I don't do it at the expense of my own happiness. It's not like I put myself through struggles to make others happy. It happens
Mhm.
very naturally.
Yeah.
But I think uh, that's why we're all here. That's the idea that we can all just be better. And I
Yeah.
think that I can improve myself, of course, but I can also just improve the state of the people around me in the world. And
Mhm.
you have an enormous impact, more than you can imagine, on your surroundings, and there's vice versa as well.
Yeah.
So that's what brings me the most happiness. The Shopify things I have become numb to. I say a prayer every time I hear it. I thank God for it, but it's the 5-star review that
Mm.
really that gets me like overjoyed now.
Wow.
It's the pictures of children before and after using our products
Wow.
brings
Wow.
me the most joy. And I mean, I don't know. I love HealthYSol, but I want to experience life. I want to
Yeah.
travel. I want to meet people and make friends. And I think the whatever I'm doing at any point in my life, I do need something that I am working on that is productive and it
Mhm.
is helping the world, easing suffering or just bringing joy to them.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm here for.
Wow. That's beautiful, Matthew. Wow. I appreciate you today, man. That was really, really nice. Seriously. Thank you, bro.
Thanks for having me, Alfonso.
Yeah, I hope to do a part 2 someday in person.
Yeah, bro. Where are you?
I'm in Mexico City.
New Mexico City. That's in Mexico.
Mexico City, yeah.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
you're Mexican?
Yeah.
Ah, that's
Yeah.
okay. That's why you understood the
The
Latino haircut
Latino.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
bro, that actually cracked me up in person.
Yeah. No, that I know that doesn't work here. Yeah, I
Awesome,
appreciate
bro.
you, Matthew. Thank you for your time, um, your wisdom, everything. Thank you.
You got it, bro. Keep working, man.
I appreciate you, bro.